Hey guys, what's up? It's Roy from Troy24 here, and it's time to get into some 2K11 association. My association is going to be only 29 games per season because I'm going to play every game, don't care about the D-League. Trade deadline is on, trade override is off, of course. And I'm going to play 10-minute quarters, and autosave is on. And after deciding, I could pick an old veteran team and retool them, but after lots of consideration, I chose the Los Angeles Clippers. They have a young new nucleus and fit right into my playstyle. I'm going to name the association the Clips. And I do have a draft class that I downloaded. There's no real stars, so nobody's over 75 overall. There's some decent talents in there, so I guess a draft pick or two could be useful. Before I begin my work, I'm just going to get you familiar with the roster and get used to it because I'm going to completely tear it apart. Yeah, just a warning, I'm going to use a lot of free agents to retool my roster in trades, so just bear with me. And the first one is going to be Larry Hughes. Now to begin my trades, I'm going to trade off my newly acquired Larry Hughes, Jamario Moon, and my 2012 second round pick for a very valuable Cleveland Cavaliers first round pick, second round pick, and a few scrubs. And what surprised me here is that this is going to be a guaranteed top 10 pick, and they're barely giving anything for it, but I get a really high pick, and I am satisfied with that. Now, moving right along here, Chris Kamen's old for my style of play, and I think I could get someone a lot better. So I'm going to trade Chris Kaman, my first round pick, not the Cavaliers one, because I could use that further on, Ike Diogu, for a new center by the name of Roy Hibbert, and Mike the Tyke Dunleavy. And also they will accept that, giving the Pacers another white guy to their collection. And now, since Dunleavy has no spot on my team, or is just not good enough, I'm going to trade him for somebody who has not been getting their fair share of minutes in Rip Hamilton. Now, the trade value is really funny because he has 2 stars and Mike Dunleavy only has 1 star, but since his contract's ridiculous, I will get Rip Hamilton, who's a very consistent shooter, which is something I'll need. And keep it in mind, I moved Mo Williams and Eric Bledsoe to shooting guard because I think their play style is more like that, as Williams is an undersized shooting guard and has no business playing the point, so that's why he's marketed like that, if you were wondering. I trade Randy Foye for my next superstar, Rudy Gay, that fills the void at small forward. And now this one's gonna get a little tricky. I'm gonna trade Bledsoe as he's very inconsistent. And let's see what I'm gonna do here. Yeah, I'm trading Bledsoe for my new franchise point guard along the way, which happens to be Drew Holiday, a UCLA kid. But this trade's gonna get very complicated, as you will find out, as I decide to mix it up a little and have a little bit of fun with it. So Jody Meeks is getting involved. But I'm not done here. I want a little bit more for my value, so I'm going to get Brandon Wright with a very polished inside game. Get Johan Petro involved. And just for the hell of it, include Travis Outlaw's stupid contract. And as you see here, Travis Outlaw is going to go to Philly, Johan Petro is going to go to Philly, and Brandon Wright's going to come to the Clippers. I don't know why the Sixers would agree to this trade, basically getting nothing, but they do, and I come up with the big. And as much as I like our newly acquired Richard Hamilton's goggles, which I think are amazing. I think that I can get someone a bit better, and you might have seen him in the NBA Finals this past week with the championship Dallas Mavericks. A very consistent shooter, especially from 3. Can't pass up this offer. So I end up getting Jason Terry, which is interesting. And then I move on to trade this, which I actually got from the Trade Finder. I don't know why the Sacramento Kings would agree to this, as they basically get nothing in return, but I end up getting a young, promising center in Hassan Whiteside for basically nothing. And using another one of my newly acquired free agents, as I said I would get more, I'm gonna get a pretty nice second rounder from the Minnesota Timberwolves, giving me their second rounder, excuse me, from 2011, which I see as could be a nice trade chip. And now that I have a center, unfortunately, I don't know why, but DeAndre Jordan just sucks in this game for whatever reason. So I'm gonna get some value for him, and that's gonna come from the Miami Heat. I'm sorry, just had to say that. And I will get their second round pick that I just acquired for Zydrunas Ilgauskas, the 7'3" Lithuanian. And this one is just a head scratcher using another free agent I acquired, which I actually found on the Trade Finder. Have no idea why this team would do it for a mediocre D-leaguer at best. So I get their 2011 second rounder for only Flip Murray, who I just got from free agency, and they for some reason accept that. Have no idea what logic comes into this, but now as you see I have Al-Farouq Aminu, a very promising but challenging prospect, and I think that it's going to take a little too much to develop him, so I think that I am going to trade him for a promising rookie on another team, my New York Knicks. And I think this could be a really good deal for me, and get a 6-man. So I'm gonna get the terrible contract of Ronaldo Bulkman, somebody who shouldn't be in the league, but I get Landry Fields, who can be an incredible 6-man, even though he starts, but I'm gonna use him as a 6-man. And I have a lot of scraps on this team, people who don't really have a role and are just going to end up in the D-League anyway, so I realized that I can take advantage of a team which happens to be the Orlando Magic, who are strapped for cash right now, so I think I can take advantage of one of their younger players, Ryan Anderson, but for Anderson, his time on the Clippers is short-lived, as I'm going to end up trading him. Matt Bonner, the ginger from the San Antonio Spurs, and I'm gonna get a second rounder also, which I think is a very lopsided trade, as I basically give them 2 players that haven't shown anything for a proven 3-point shooter. Okay, moving right along, I'm gonna trade another free agent of mine from second round picks that are from contending teams, so really have no use for them. And I'm gonna get a very useless center, but I'm gonna also get a bad team second rounder, which always works for me. And once again, I'm gonna trade another free agent that I got, just cleaning out the free agent board. You wouldn't believe how many free agents I got in this run. And I'm going to trade that second round pick I got for 2 very capable players in my opinion, Carl Landry and the ever so favorite DJ Benga. And they also do accept that. And trading Ryan Gomes and Brandon Wright, who's become useless ever since I got Landry, and an also useless player in Alexis Ajinka, to the Denver Nuggets for a promising rookie as well in Gary Forbes. the Birdman, Chris Anderson, and another one of my favorite Knicks, Timofey Moskov, and they accept that as well. And this is another trade I found on the trade finder, and since I have like a lot of centers, I'm gonna have to get rid of a future all-star in DJ Benga and Timofey Moskov, but I'm gonna get a very tall and center with a lot of upside, even though he's not highly regarded, in Hashim to beat a UConn standout. Yeah, and I think getting to beat will help my front line a lot because he adds size and shot blocking. I trade another free agent signing for a second-round pick from the Warriors. I trade the Birdman for Daniel Gibson and a second-rounder. And then I trade Daniel Gibson once again to get Charlie Bell and another second-rounder. And then I traded that second-rounder and Ryan Anderson again for Ersan Ilyasova. Now looking at our roster, as you see before, the roster is almost completely different from how it was before after all these trades. And at point guard we have Drew Holiday starting, with Jason Terry's bringing a spark off the bench. Eric Gordon's the starter at 2 guard, with Landry Fields as my do-it-all 6-man. We got Rudy Gay at small forward. We got Ersan Ilyasova off the bench, as well as Gary Forbes. We got the star of the show, Blake Griffin, Carl Landry off the bench, and Brian Cook. And then Roy Hibbert, as our shot blocking center. Hashim to beat 7'3", ready to dominate, and the ginger Matt Bonner. So as you can see here, this is our schedule. The first game's at Golden State, followed by the Pistons and at New York. I'm most likely going to post the first game, but here's our schedule. Let me know which games you want to see. I'm playing each team once. And as always, leave your feedback and comments down below. Tell me what I did right, tell me what you didn't like, and tell me how I can improve. And if you like it, show your friends. If you don't, tell me what I did wrong. Until next time, laters.